Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whatever time it is. I hope you are having a good one. Welcome back to House Flipper 2 with Rash Decision. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave me a like, subscribe, and maybe even a comment to let me know. Enjoy the video. My beautiful audience. So actually I got to thinking about it, and I've been saying ladies and gentlemen a lot, ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise, but I kind of thought about it, and I want to change that to be my beautiful audience, because I respect all of you equally. There is none of you that I want to feel like you're being left out. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on is my beautiful audience. Welcome back to another Mod Review Monday with me, Rash. I don't know who else you'd want to do a Mod Review Monday with at this point. I mean, is it kind of my thing? I hope I didn't steal that from anybody. I really hope I didn't. But anyway, this week we do not have a weekly. We have one that I was pointed to from the last video. If you remember the last video, I did it on this one right here, the Hedera house, and I do apologize if I am mispronouncing that. But I found out that this house was built as a commission by Midas for a handicapped person. So I do apologize. I didn't realize that when I was doing it. And I made the comment, like, why it was so weird to have a ramp inside one of the doors. Makes a lot more sense now. Apparently the person is wheelchair bound, and absolutely. I didn't even think about it at the time, but that's absolutely a wonderful little touch. After I went back through the video, I was like, wow, they did a good job making this handicap accessible, because I noticed like the bars in the shower, but it didn't really click. So this time, in the comments of that video, Midas actually pointed me to this one, the Suburban Prepper. So that's actually what we're going to do today. We're actually going to go into this one. We're going to have a look around. I remember House Flipper 1 had the I don't remember what it was called actually, now that I think about it. They had the DLC for like apocalypse prepping. Like where you'd have like the sealed basement with like all the supplies and everything to it, kind of thing that you would see in like what was the old Flash game, like In a Woods or something like that, that you could do like the prepper, and you would set them up with like all their gear and everything. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go in. We're gonna have a look at this, because I think we're gonna get a lot of House Flipper 1 vibes from this. All right. So we got it in the suburbs this time. We don't have it creating a scene. We have it in the scene. A little bit strange that it has you starting here. I kind of wish, nothing against the creator. This always bugs me that you can't go onto the sidewalk. I really wish you would have the ability to go on the sidewalk, but it would just stop the building here. So you could get to the sidewalk and see what the house looks like from the sidewalk without having to use like a fly and edit properties, stuff like that. But that's not against the creator. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's just silliness on the part of the game. But this little approach right here, I'm really liking this. These extended steps right here, that's really nice. That's a good touch. I like that, because over here you have the ramp coming up, and those are actually stepping up to the top of the ramp. So we have the ramp coming up, and it's actually looking like this is meant to be like asphalt or something like that. Admittedly, I would like to see the ramp going a little bit further, like meeting up to more like right here, like double the size of the ramp, so it has like a gentler slope. I've seen driveways like this, and I've driven up them. My Explorer can make it. My cousin's Miata probably couldn't. Let's put it that way. Let's see. So that's the front of the house. I'm going to kind of scoot around to the side here like I always do. We're going to kind of jump around and have a look at what's going on. So we've kind of created the scene. This is more like the backdrop back here, where we're creating the scene that goes around the house rather than part of the yard necessarily. I say necessarily. You could still call this part of the yard, but there again, I wanted to go straight onto the sidewalk. You see that? Come on. But anyway, yeah, that's not creator's fault. Absolutely not. Oh, got the nice little ramp, goes up into the house rather than the house having to create steps for that. That's cool. That's a nice touch. I like that touch. That's a good touch. But yeah, definitely creating the scene because you have like the foreground here, then the background is the trees. That creates a cool effect. It really does. Where you got like that little bit of dead space that makes it seem like the fence is further away. It makes the property look larger. I trimmed my bush to make my deck look bigger. I'm sorry, what? Let's see. So yeah, around here looks like it's gonna be kind of the same thing. So yeah, we're just creating the scenery from these bushes right here. Got the nice little lawn chairs out here, ready to soak up some rays. Got the grill going. Ooh, actually, you know what? One recommendation I would make here, I would move the grill to like over here, and maybe like really, I would just swap the position of the chairs and the grill. A large part of that is I don't know if the creators in the U.S. or in the EU or what have you, but in the U.S., a lot of times fire code actually will not allow you to put a grill this close to a house or this close to a residential building. Usually the grill has to be like away from the house, and a large part of that is if there's like vinyl or wood siding, it can get hot enough to actually catch fire if the grill is within, I think it was 3 feet was the measured danger zone, especially during like hot days, like in the southern U.S. In Texas. It can in the summer it can get up to 100, 110, 120 very, very easily, especially in like Texas and Arizona. In the dry heat, especially, it's even worse because that siding is going to be dried out and it's not going to have any moisture to absorb and fleck off that heat. But in the more the center of the eastern seaboard is actually a large portion of what's called temperate rainforest. There's a lot of moisture in the air. So it's a lot harder for it to happen there, but even then, vinyl siding is especially susceptible to it because it'll warp, it will kind of bow away, and when that happens, especially if it kind of comes loose of the nails that are bounding it to the wood or bounding it to the sheathing, it will actually cause the sheathing to dry out and catch fire instead. So usually when you have grills like on patios like this that are bumped up against the house, it's always better to have the grill on the opposite side of the patio away from the house just to avoid that problem, because bushes and trees won't catch fire as easily because they retain moisture in their leaves. They have to dry out before they can catch fire, and it's significantly more energy to do so. But besides that, a leaf has the ability to vent off heat a lot better than static siding. But that's the only real complaint I have back here. Just swap these locations and you'd be great. Absolutely great. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to go in this door. I'm going to go in the front. I could also go in the garage. But we'll have a look at the garage from... Oh, that's right. I did it again. I keep wanting to go... Again, it's not the creator's fault. That is just the stupidness of this map. You should be able to walk onto the sidewalk. Like, that's really dumb that you can't. And I've said that since day one. Alright. So it looks like we're keeping the aesthetic. I like the black ceiling. I have to go back and show you guys again what I've done with the house with the black ceiling that I did, the more modern style. That was the over the garage map. I've taken that idea and I've taken it even further. But black ceilings... Man, you could do so much with black ceilings. In here especially, it makes the room look a lot taller than it actually is. But having all these really, really dark tones and then having the bright furniture really makes the furniture pop. Like, it really, really does. Not quite to what I would have done with it personally. Personally, I'm going to say that. I wouldn't have done it this way myself. But I like how it was done because I didn't do it. If I had done this, I probably would have hated it and tore it all down and run it again. But because somebody else did it and I'm coming into it to look at it, I like it. It's weird how that works. It really is. It really is. So we got like the small living room right here. Got like a little kitchenette over here. I don't know. Yeah, I guess this would classify as a kitchenette. There's no oven, but there is a stovetop. So yeah, this would be a kitchenette. Yeah, the fridge is right there. Got it. Okay. And of course under here. Now the only thing about this, excuse me, for this cabinet right here, the only change I would have made, I would have used the one with the 2 cabinets and the drawer up top. Mostly because that's actually how real world countertop stoves are done. The top drawer will actually be just bolted in place, and it kind of holds all of the requirements. So if it's like electric, it'll hold like the transformer and the power cables coming in from the wall. Or if it's a gas stove like this one is, it'll hold like the regulator valve and all of the tubing and piping that's needed for that. And you'll just hold it all in that one drawer, and so you'll never see it. And then you have like the doors underneath. Having it like this lends a bit of fantasy. It's one of those things that's kind of suspension of disbelief is used very, very frequently in this game. Let's put it that way. And this is one of those places where that is the situation. Because this is a gas top, you'd have to have something that's a fuel source that comes up to it. And I know it's a gas top. Looks like I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to get close enough to it. But you could see kind of how like this is lipped up like this, and it kind of goes around like that. It's done that way because the element, the flame, will actually come out of the side, and because of the mushroomed top, it's kind of forced to go up and out, and kind of come back around, so that it heats the bottom of the pot evenly. If it was electric, it would just have a standard coil right here instead. So, yeah, being that this is a gas top, it would have to have some kind of fuel source that goes to it. So there's a lot of suspension of disbelief there. But that being said, I really like the way this room is set up and laid out. Oh, we have the lamps hooked into the... Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not a bad thing to do. Actually, that's how my apartment is set up. The front room that I'm in right now is actually, it has no ceiling light. There's only a outlet that's hooked up to the light switch here in the front. So I just have a light that's in the corner behind me. And that's all the light in the front room. So let's go back through here. Okay, so that goes into the basement. Let's hold off on that. So this is the bathroom. Very industrial. Gives me a very industrial vibe. And a large part of that is these, looks like granite. Yeah, it's definitely something very smooth and shiny. It's not concrete, but it has like a concrete feel to it. Like it looks like lime and aggregate. But it looks a little bit too grainy to be concrete. It's probably granite if I had to guess. I'm not going to check. I'm just going to look at it and tell you. Also, right here, nothing up here. You know, that once again, I have to say that I always have a lot of respect for people that go through and add this stuff into the cabinets and stuff like that, but it's never necessary. I would never ask someone to do that. The fact that you've got all the displays out here the way that they should be, perfectly fine. Wonderfully done. Love it. Absolutely love it. Got the coffee cups right over the coffee maker. Got the highball glasses right over the source of water. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. This is exactly what you would expect from somebody that's got a very utilitarian abode like this. Because you look here, like you look at the table here, and you can tell this table was like salvaged. Like it has like that roughed up look to it, but it's still usable. Perfectly fine to use. You know, you got like the couple little flowers right here to kind of make it look a little bit nicer. Got like the salvage rope. Got it over here. Got like what looks like just a standard lamp you probably plucked out of a warehouse somewhere. Oh, look at this. Pride and Prejudice. Ah, just using the gray back to fill up the space. You know what? I feel it. It's actually quite a lot of work to fill out those spaces correctly. Now, I will tell you, the better way to do that, if you're just looking to place something down and not worry about it anymore, if you go into it, just grab like one of these that just has the bare spine to it. That way you don't have to worry about, what's the word? Aesthetics. You don't have to worry about them all being the same book. But I do respect it because from a distance, you really can't tell what it is. It just looks like a bunch of like utility books or like a textbook, something like that. So if we go in here, yep, it's what I expected. You've got the garage in here. And I will point out, I find it very amusing that the primary portion of the house takes up like half the space the actual garage does. It feels like a large portion of this house was dedicated to the basement. I'm sure that's what we're going to find when we get down there. But I would have liked to have seen like more of the upstairs be used. If this was a prepper, they probably aren't really interested in going down and using this very frequently, mostly to not dwindle their supplies. Oh wow, this goes deep. This is a fallout shelter. You are not kidding me. Oh. Oh no. Uh-oh. When I said fallout shelter, I want you to know, right now, before we go any further, I want it to be known that when I said fallout shelter, I didn't actually mean Vault-Tec. Like, is there a Vault-Tec executive that owns this house and just uses the top of it as facade? Is that what we're about to find out? I'm just gonna close this door. I'm just gonna go back. That's what we're gonna do. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, because I immediately saw the blue and the yellow, and I was just like, oh no. Vault-Tec calling. Yeah, this is some high grade level of prepper. This is not prepper. This is straight up like somebody from Vault-Tec, like a high end executive, owns this house, and the top of it is literally just a facade. Like they literally bought just a honed out shell of like a community center or something and built this in it. Like literally that's what happened. Holy crap. Yeah, this is not what I expected at all. This screams Vault-Tec. Absolutely screams Vault-Tec. I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Midas, if you're listening, I'm going to tell you that when I walked into this, I was expecting like a concrete basement with like shelves of food and like maybe a couple of little things here and there, entertainment, a bathroom, maybe like one of those utility boxes that you would put outside to act as like maybe a generator or something like that. I wasn't expecting to find the CEO of Vault-Tec living under a suburban house, a nondescript suburban house. You got me, sir. Or madam, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know, honestly. But you got me. You got me on this one. But light us a fire. Yeah, whatever. Okay. And of course, in here we've got the full kitchen. The proper kitchen. The gold refrigerators. Everything's gold. This far underground, everything is gold. I made a joke. Somebody from Vault-Tec owned this. I'm starting to believe it. I'm genuinely starting to believe it. This is absolutely crazy. Got this like cerulean marble everywhere. Got gold inlay and gold ornaments everywhere. Got the terrarium going on in here with roses and the Virginia creeper. You did that on purpose. The Virginia creeper? Really? Because, you know, the original vault is... Ah, never mind. You know what? Never mind. Probably lost on most of the people watching this anyway. Just know that I get what you're trying to do. And I appreciate it, actually. I really do. I genuinely appreciate everything here. Because this is really, really intricate. Like, I'm in absolute awe that all of this was done underground. And of course, you know, you got like these These chairs always screamed, like, especially like these chairs right here, always screamed like 1940s and 1950s, like retro tech kind of stuff. Got more books right here. Into a pool? Or is it supposed to be just a large bathtub? Yeah, lots and lots of like blue and gold. Absolutely. Like this is Vault Tech through and through. Like you can't possibly convince me otherwise at this point. Like this is absolutely supposed to be like Vault Tech everything. Like this is a little bit more than a prepper. This is a, you know what? We're just gonna keep looking around because you got me on this one. You got me plenty. Got the blue and white bins. Like the only thing this is missing is some is the freaking vault jumpsuits. Like literally that's all that's missing here, just the jumpsuits. Because I've seen everything else. Got all this like crazy wood paneling everywhere. I don't know if this is supposed to be like mahogany. It's not quite red enough to be mahogany, but you know what? It could pass. Got the double bedroom in here. But yeah, this is actually something that is brought up a lot in sci-fi. When the end of the world happens, and then people rebuild, building houses out of wood, like new, especially high quality or very, very hard wood, like mahogany or especially like ebony, would be near impossible or cost a literal fortune. Like literally just building the house that was up on top of this for like a post-apocalyptic scenario, building that house just as is would cost a fortune because wood would be such a difficult material to work with and source. Whereas things like metal and anything that's malleable like metal, there's a few different options there, like, you know, plastics or PVC, things of that nature. Yeah, there's a lot of different options here and there, but this really epitomizes the Vault Tech vision that they had for their executives, because the executives were treated differently from just like the regular folk. You know, they built all those great vaults, but a lot of them were social experiments. They weren't meant to be vaults necessarily. They were meant to be the ability to pass on scientific information and data through methods that weren't exactly ethical, or at least wouldn't have passed for ethics in a pre-war world. And then this kind of epitomizes what they had in mind for, and I love these. Very retro tech. I love them. Everything here has been done right. The shiny ceiling, you know what? I feel it, but I would have to say that I would have rather seen thin tiles, to be honest with you. Just to break up the monotony, if nothing else. But otherwise, everything here is absolutely wonderful. I've always been a big, big Fallout nerd. Like, I'm not like, you know, your boy Nate over there, but I can get myself around. Like, I've played Fallout 4 enough. I've played Fallout New Vegas is my favorite. I've played plenty of Fallout 3. I have actually gone back and played 1 and 2, but I will admit that 3 was my first. It was my introduction to the series, and then afterward I kind of went back and started really piecing everything together. I just have to say, like, everything you've done here is exactly on... Ooh, look at that. Got the lighting in the terrarium. That is awesome. I love it. Everything about this is awesome. I love it. You know what? Even if you're not a Fallout fan, I highly recommend just coming in here and just looking around entirely because it's worth it. Got the lighting on point. Got the color scheme on point. Use of materials on point. Everything about this is awesome. Like, you know, there's a couple things up top that when I didn't think it was going to be all based in what it was based in, where I'm just looking at a house, you know what? You got me. But those were the only things I really have had a problem with. Like, other than, you know, just breaking up the monotonous ceiling, like, you know, you can do this. It is very possible. All you gotta do is get some gold foil and solder it into the ceiling using a heat gun. Like, literally, that's all you gotta do. But I would rather have seen the little tiles kind of break up the monotony, make it look more like it's actual pieces of gold, not just gold foil. You know what? Doing it that way would honestly like take it to that next level, genuinely. Let's see. Oh, you've got all individual ones as well. You can actually, if you place one of these, you can go back and modify the style, like change the style, and it'll give you an option to change the size, and you can just stretch it out and have the whole thing be one solid unit. And it makes it a whole lot easier for changing stuff around. Because you got each one individual, I'm not going to mess with it. But yeah, absolutely. I'm actually just going to change one. Oh, there it is, just the change size. But yeah, looks like it's not going to let me hit that surface. It's just going to let me hit the object. So I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, seeing the tiles would have made this a little bit better. It would just have, like I always say, that little extra, because it would have looked like actual bits of gold rather than just gold leaf filing over something else. Everything else here, like the use of these breeze blocks, I did see them. The use of the floor transition strips, I've done this myself. The way that you've got like the mirrors and the clock kind of look like they're embossed into the marble. Everything here is awesome. I absolutely love how over the top everything is. How this corner is like the wave you've got going on here. That's awesome. Everything here is absolutely amazing. And this is exactly what I would have expected to see, like one of the executives from Vault Tech trying to hide in, because they knew damn well that their vaults were a sham. But anyway, you know what? I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna call it right there. I'm actually gonna turn on the lights in here just so I can see what they look like. Oh, there it is. Very, very subtle. And again, very subtle. So we got like a mud room here. We got like the foyer here, you know. Very standard stuff. And it kind of comes into like this big area. It's like almost like a den. And then you've got like this wonderful little kitchen right here. And it comes into like this big main room. This could almost classify as a vault in and of itself. But it's a little bit too small for that. Because you only have room for like maybe 2 families. And even then, the bedding only has room for like 4 people at best. So we're talking about like maybe the prepper and his family. But we're not even really talking about a prepper. We're talking about a dude who built a mansion underground and put a suburban house on top of it. That's exactly what this is. Like, you can't convince me otherwise. There we go. All right. Yeah, we're going to cut it off there. You've seen everything I've seen, and I'm going to say it. Yeah, Midas, you got me. But that's it, my dudes. Have a good one.